Hello. Today, we'll be using everything we've learned about the color wheel to create an abstract painting. We're talking tints, tones, shades, neutrals, complementary, analogous, even triadic. Let's get to it. Here you can see a list of all the things we've learned this week and everything we're going to use in the painting. Tint, shade, tone, neutral, complementary, analogous, and triadic. For the first layer of the painting, I'm going to use a tone of blue paint to cover the background in a thin layer. This is always how you start a painting, with a nice thin layer that covers the entire background. But first, I have to mix up that tone of blue. Remember that a tone is a color plus gray, and gray is made of black and white. So I've got blue, white, and black paint there on the plate. I'm going to mix it up. Then I'm going to use a big brush with some paint on it and a dip of water as well. This will help the paint spread out very thin. And the key here is spreading the paint out, not laying it on real thick and watery, otherwise your paper will just crumble and dissolve away. So a little bit of paint, a little bit of water, and then a lot of spreading to get a really nice thin background layer. And now that we have a tone of blue in our background, we can officially check that one off of our list. And for my next skill, I'm going to use analogous colors and layer those over the background. You should see these analogous colors kind of blending in and vibing with that background color. Since my background color is blue, I'm going to have to use the colors that are next to it, which would be blue purple and blue green. Time to mix these colors up. Blue green is blue plus some yellow. And blue purple is blue plus some red. I'm going to layer those over top of my background using a big brush and making some downwards brush strokes and kind of brushing and kind of fading those in a bit into the background, and then going in with the blue purple and kind of doing the same in between the blue green brush strokes to get a nice little vertical brush stroke texture there. Voila! I can now check analogous colors off of my list. And I will move on to a triadic color combination. I'm also going to use tint and shade for these triadic colors as well. For this painting, I'm basing all of my color relationships off of the background color. So the triadic colors for blue are red and yellow. Remember, they're connected by a triangle and they will balance each other. As I paint these triadic colors, I'm also going to get a little bit fancy by using tints and shades. I'm going to make a tint of red by adding white to it. And I'm going to make a shade of yellow by adding black to it. I'm going to use the big brush to make some swooping circular brush strokes using these colors. And I'll use the smaller brush to do the same thing at the top of the painting, except my curves will be facing the other direction to add some variety. And now I have completed triadic colors, as well as tints and shades, and I can check them off the list. Now there are only two skills left, complementary colors and neutral. So I'm going to see if I can do those both with one last addition to this painting. To find the complementary color to your background color, find the color that is directly opposite from it on the color wheel. In my case, it is orange. As you mix up your complementary color, make sure that it has at least a little bit of all three primary colors in it. That will turn it slightly brownish. No need to turn it all the way brown, or when you do this next step, it might look a little bit like, well, dookie. So don't take it all the way there. Just a little bit brownish will look great. Now that I've got an orange that is slightly brown, I'm ready to do the last step, and this is the funnest step. But don't overdo it or it will ruin your painting. Here's how it's done. Get some of your complementary neutral color on the tip of the big brush, and then flick the bristles towards the paper to get little tiny stardust spatters of that color onto your painting. If you want bigger spatters, you'll need to get a bigger glob of paint on the end of that brush, and in a controlled whipping motion, splat the paint down right onto the part of the paper where you want it to go. This is 100% controllable. There's no need for this to get on your clothes or on anyone else around you. You may get a little bit on the table, but we'll clean that up. You can see how great those splatters look. It will definitely add to your painting. Beautiful. But remember, that was fun, but we did use a skill. So let me check those off the list. I can check off neutral. No, that was fun, but remember, we did use a skill. Both complementary color and neutral were used, so we can take those off the list. Wipe down your work area, put up your supplies, and you will have completed a painting with a ton of skills and a great look to it. Congratulations.